Good afternoon and welcome back to the Board of County Commission meeting here in Seminole County. The time is approximately 1:30. This is the public hearing portion of our meeting, and I will look for proof of publication, please.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed, like sign. Hearing none, carries unanimous. Please disclose any ex parte communication from each commissioner. We'll start to my right with Commissioner Hearn and work our way across.
None to disclose.
None to disclose here?
None to disclose.
None.
None.
All right. Our first item up is item 29, LDC Amendment, Certified Recovery Residences. This will be presented by Dick German.
Not Dick.
No.
You know a Dick German?
I'm sorry, David.
This is David.
David German, I'm sorry.
Because I just went, no,
super
this is
confused.
not Dick German.
I was flipping through my page.
So they do pay
Much better
attention.
looking.
Sorry, Mr. Chairman, I just...
No, thank you.
Okay.
All right. Good afternoon. David German, Senior Planner, Development Services, presenting with NASA Borgert, Deputy County Attorney. This afternoon, staff is presenting a proposed amendment to the Seminole County Land Development Code. It will amend Chapter 2 definitions to add a definition for certified recovery residences and Chapter 30 zoning regulations, and to establish a process for reasonable accommodation requests for certified recovery residences. I will now pass the presentation over to NASA to discuss the implementation and processes.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Nasa Borgert, Deputy County Attorney for the record. Today we are going to talk about certified recovery residences. Recently, as in last year, the legislature, through Senate Bill 954, required all counties and all cities by January 1, 2026 to amend their code to allow for or to establish a process for reasonable accommodations for certified recovery residences. So a reasonable accommodation is not a variance. It's not a planning activity. And I'll get into the criteria of that. But reasonable accommodation requests are set by federal law. The criteria for reviewing them is set by federal law. This criteria has been in place for a very long time now. So it's something that the legislature is now requesting that everybody actually put into their codes, even though you were required to comply with it previous to this time. What this will require for Seminole County is changes to the Land Development Code. We need to add a definition for certified recovery residences that will mirror the state's definition in the statute. It will require an amendment to Chapter 30. We're putting it in the Land Development Code, even though it's not a planning function. It just seemed like the best place for it to go there as an option for when people are looking for this in our code. And so it'll add a new subsection that establishes the process. All right, this only applies to certified recovery residences, which are those residences that hold a valid certificate of compliance and they're actively managed by a certified recovery residence administrator. The certificate of compliance is issued by third parties that the state has contracted with to review these residences. So that is a state function. We have nothing to do as to whether something's certified, as to whether a recovery residence is certified or not. CRRs have different levels that indicate the type of services that are being provided to residents. They can be just residents that kind of do their own thing. They work in a collaborative environment. They're all typically in recovery. And to a level of where they're getting more one-on-one care and oversight for their recovery plan. Everyone that's in a certified recovery residence is considered disabled under the FHA and ADA because they're recovering from, they have a form of addiction, whether that be to drug or alcohol addiction, that is considered a disability under the FHA and the ADA. Okay, so who's the applicant? The applicant can be persons who are disabled, so have a disability of addiction, or a provider of services to those disabled persons. They are people that are recovering from substance abuse disorders, like I said, and to receive the accommodation, they're required to show that the proposed accommodation is reasonable and necessary to afford an equal opportunity to use and enjoy the residence. So the goal here is to integrate people who are recovering from substance abuse disorder into, neighborhoods, into areas that are generally, residential areas. So the application comes into the Planning and Development Division. It must include a description of the accommodation that's being requested and demonstrate why the request is necessary. It must include a verification of disability status, and this form is executed by a medical or social services professional, and any supplementary documentation to support the request. The Development Services Director is authorized to review these applications when they come in, and they have to do so within 30 days. That's a statutory deadline. And in their consideration, they'll consider whether the applicant has established that they're handicapped or disabled, whether the accommodation, as I said before, is reasonable and necessary to provide an equal opportunity to enjoy the residence, whether the request imposes an undue financial or administrative burden on the county, and whether the request requires a fundamental alteration in the nature of the county's regulations. And those two last ones are ones that the Development Services Director has to decide from the county standpoint. What will allowing this accommodation do on a greater level? After the review is complete, the Development Services Director will issue an approval with conditions, or will deny the request. I'll just add that, in this period of time, I would love to give you an example of when this would come up. I'm not sure that it will come up in the future for the county, but we're required to put this on our books. I'll also tell you that the certified recovery residences must still comply with our building and occupancy codes, so it's not like you can put more people than are permitted in a building in one of these residences. They must still comply with our building code. And by doing this, in adopting this ordinance now, we will be in compliance with that January 1 deadline. So the request here is for the board to make a motion to adopt the ordinance amending the Land Development Code to establish a reasonable accommodation process for certified recovery residences. And I'll stand for any questions you may have.
Any questions at this time for staff? Commissioner Herr.
I truly thought I understood this based on the briefing, but now I'm questioning myself. So it's a recovery, CRR is defined as a recovery residence that holds a valid certificate of compliance and is actively managed by a certified recovery resident administrator. So in that instance, the applicant is for the dwelling, or each person that goes there is applying separately and proving disability to be there?
Right, so it can be either, so the reasonable accommodation process can apply to individuals. So in this case, it could be either way, I would say. But typically what you're gonna see is the director, the person that's registered by the state, will be the person providing care to the disabled individuals, and they will have to be the ones to submit the application and also submit verification that they're certified and of the people that are going to be there. And this approval, which is something that I forgot to mention, runs with the person, not the land, as opposed to a variance. It's not like if there's a certified recovery residence in this residential home, it will always be that way. It only is that way if the persons in it are disabled and it's certified by state law and they have the requisite person that's managing it.
And so if the home becomes certified, they lose homestead exemption?
I would assume that they would, yes.
Because it's running as a business.
Right, it's running as a business, exactly.
They're getting, I have experienced this in a neighborhood that was very near and dear to my heart, and so,
Yes, I believe that it would. It's not, these are not meant to be permanent residents. We are prohibited, the county is prohibited from limiting the timeframes for how long people
Right.
can stay, but it's not meant to be for permanent living. It's more transitional.
but the residents move in and out, the facility stays permanently, for lack of a better word, a halfway house. That's what this is. It's a recovery residence is what we all, in this generation up on this board, would know as a halfway house.
Right,
Or
sober
sober
living
living.
home.
Yeah.
Right, sober living home.
Yeah.
I will say that, yeah, you're right. It remains that way for as long as it's a certified recovery residence. It's covered by that certified individual.
And subject to all of the rest of our standard codes.
Absolutely, yeah.
Else? All right, is there anyone here from the public that desires to speak on this matter?
No, sir.
Seeing none, we will close public input and go to board action.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Delary.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the request for staff as presented.
Second.
Motion second. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Seeing none, carries unanimous. Thank you very much. And item number 30, staff is requesting a continuance to December 9th, 2025. What is the will of the board?
So moved.
Second?
Motion second. Any further discussion? Commissioner Lockhart?
Yeah. I've read the letter that came from with the oversight of this particular piece of our work. Could they please specify in writing what it is they believe is most restrictive, or making this more restrictive? I think we all have worked on this with our stakeholders at length, and have done some really deep dives on this topic, and I would like them to put in writing what it is that they believe is a concern, if that's something that the board is interested in.
I'm fine with that.
Agreed.
Commissioner Herr appears to be fine with that.
I'm fine.
Valari's good?
Yes.
Constantine's good?
Good.
You have consensus?
Okay, we'll put something
You wanna
together.
Draft a letter?
Would you like it to be for the chairman's signature, for the county attorney's office?
Whatever.
Okay.
Just what's the problem?
Maybe both.
Yeah, I think that probably, I'm sorry, Nasa Borker, Deputy County Attorney for the record, I think that probably we have tried getting from the state this answer that Commissioner Lockhart is looking for. We have provided them information. We have been unable to do so. So I think a letter from the board, from the chairman
Might help.
for the board would maybe go a little bit further than our staff level efforts have went.
Sure, I'm fine with that. About this, I think you just do it, let them deal with it.
Yeah.
If they won't answer and won't respond,
Test it.
test it and see. Opposed, like sign. Seeing none, carries unanimous. All right. County Attorney's report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have one item for the board this afternoon. The county attorney's office is seeking consent of the board to pursue legal remedies under 5 separate affordable housing funding agreements from 2023 against the developer Florida Superior Properties Economic Community Services, Inc., SPECS for short. The county had donated 5 lots in the Midway area to SPECS in 2022 and also contributed a total of $1 million for SPECS to construct 5 affordable homes and to secure qualified buyers. And to date, only 2 of those 5 homes have received certificates of occupancy. The other 3 are in various stages of construction, and all building permits have expired. Communication with the developer has broken down despite staff's best efforts, And so we're seeking the permission of the board to pursue our remedies under the agreement and the mortgages, the agreements and the mortgages that are recorded along with those agreements.
Any questions? Commissioner Herr?
I'll weigh in. This is in my district, and I've been working with Community Services and the County Attorney's Office. I think our best move is to seek all remedies simultaneously. These homes are sitting, the ones that are done are sitting unattended in Midway, and the others are close to being done, and it's just simply wasteful and not helpful to the community. So I would appreciate your support of this directive.
Second.
So moved.
Motion.
Second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, like sign? Seeing none, carries unanimous. Thank you very much. Anything else?
I have nothing further. Thank you.
All right, next is County Manager's Report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Probably about 6 months ago, I think it was the chairman who actually talked to me about business tax receipts and just the status of it, and where should we go in the future for this. And so what I wanted to do is I'll have Mr. Mike Rhodes come up and just give us just a brief overview of what our business tax receipts are, what the status of it is, and then a few options for the board to consider and how to move forward with that.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Before we get going, just want to quickly acknowledge our tax collector, J.R. Kroll, and his staff, and thank them for their support as we've prepared for this brief presentation for you this afternoon. And they're, I think, prepared to answer questions if need be, but hopefully I hit the highlights and you can let him off the hook for today.
Did you call him in off vacation?
Business tax receipts, improvements have been made by the tax collector, particularly here recently, and then the current state of business tax receipts, both here locally as well as at the state level, and then just give you all an opportunity to talk about next steps. Like so much that we do in local government, everything we do is rooted in Florida statutes. In the case of local business taxes, it's rooted in Florida Statute 205. It's important to understand that that statute was adopted after, in the 70s, after a lot of local governments had already had their, at the time, occupational license processes set up. And the state came along in the, I believe it was beginning in the 70s, in the earlier 70s, to try to kind of help, particularly bring a little bit of order as far as renewal dates and things like that. So some of the things that you see in the statute kind of reflect that original organizational, those original organizational changes, and then some things are a little more recent manifestations that we can talk about, like the many exemptions that exist to it. The process is kind of mirrored here at the local level. So Chapter 45 of the county code adopts what we adopts Florida Statute Chapter 205, establishes a renewal process and schedule that is the same across the state of Florida. It establishes, at least in Seminole County's case, 2 classes of businesses, and we'll talk about those more in a minute. And then it provides for a transfer of administrative duties in the event that we want to, and we have here, to other local governments. I want to talk very quickly just about some customer-focused improvements that the tax collector has implemented that I think you'll probably see if you haven't visited the website. I would encourage you to do it. A lot of really terrific information, very transparent, very easy, and customer-focused. The tax collector went live with this on May the 20th of this year, and it provides, again, for some online reporting and application processes and other things that are more peculiar to the tax collector's role. The vendor is a vendor called Grant Street, and that vendor provides tax collector software platforms and services to, I believe it's 37 of the 67 counties in the state of Florida. Wonderful, consistent, easy to use, and kind of a credit, I'd say, to the tax collector's efforts to try to make things work better for our customers and our constituents. Application process is online now. There's also online chat and help, so if you're going through the application and you need some help, you can click the chat and usually get it. It also provides for electronic payments of those tax receipts once you complete the application process. And there's a searchable database, as I mentioned before. The other thing to just kind of make note of here is that, and I know we don't want to get into the weeds too much, the tax collector's got things to talk to you about interlocal agreements at some point. However, these are tools, these online tools are delinquent or closed. And again, remember, the tax collector county code are Class A, which is not subject to government regulation, Class B, which is subject to government regulation. Those are your two classes. So unregulated business is a landscaper, it's a florist, it's it's a handyman, it's any number of things. And a regulated business, examples of that obviously are CPAs and attorneys and architects and cosmetologists and a lot of other things that require state or federal licensing. It's also important to understand that for the moment, there's an honor system, so kind of the information that comes in is the information that we get. There are no audits, there are no inspections, there's no out in the field kind of validation of what's going on. And so it's kind of as it's at least described by the state. It's a tax. It's a process whereby we receive money, and that's really about it. There is municipal licensing that's also a part of this, and of course, cities around the state also do this and have different processes whereby they do it. We have 7, right? And then we have 2 municipalities here in Seminole County that utilize flat rate systems, again, much like we show Seminole County regulated and Seminole County unregulated, right? Those are our 2 business classifications. All those other business classifications are business classifications that are self-reported. They're not necessarily required, and many of them could be consolidated into either regulated or non-regulated, but again, based upon the information we get via the applications that come in, the descriptions are varied. And would you believe it? I'm trying to see if I can see it on there. I'm not sure I can, but if you were to believe the numbers here, I believe we have, it was either 98 or 99 licensed contractors. Now, we all understand that that's a state licensed business, so that would classify as a regulated business. However, because of the kind of differing application processes that we have and again some of the age of the data in the database, we've got a lot of different things that are out there, and among those are, for example, when you get down to the other accounts for over 1,100 different business descriptions. So there's a lot of information in there. It's inconsistent. It's by year. And again, you can see this is over a 10-year period. The collections have varied from a high of $486,000 for almost $487,000 in 2016 to a low this year of $310,426. Again, some of that we can attribute to the switch over into the new system. Some of it, too, I think it's important to note, you can attribute to a lag. I'll just try to describe it politely, but a lag in reporting from a lot of our municipal partners. So the information that the municipalities get oftentimes doesn't get to us for 3 to 6 months. And by information, I mean not only the descriptions of the businesses, but also the remittances that come back to the county for those business tax receipt payments. So certainly not what you'd like to see, but as I understand it, that's really the explanation. And again, over time, we're hoping that gets a lot better. This slide is just kind of, again, an illustration of delinquents versus paid. It has, I think if this was as of 11/10 of this month. It has improved as we go along, so some of these businesses are coming in, and there are delinquent fees that are again prescribed by the state in the state statute. So as the delinquent businesses come in, they pay those delinquent penalties, if you will. So that number gets, the delinquent number gets smaller and smaller, but we still have a significant number of delinquencies across this database. The current information we request is pretty limited, and we'll just run down really quickly: name, address, business description, and again, remember that's kind of open. The open date for the business itself, and that could be a date in the future, it could be a date in the past, and those fees can be adjusted accordingly or prorated. A phone number, email address, corporate information, if there is corporate information, and then a federal employee number or social security number, depending upon the nature of the business. That is the information we get. Not a lot, and we can certainly talk about that a little bit more if you like. But at this point, with all that information in hand, we'll turn it over to you all for any questions or comments.
Thank you very much. Of course, I asked this to come forward because I already did a bunch of this work to know where we stood.
State law, I think, is that your recollection of how that
Correct.
started? Okay.
And since it's not the case.
Right. So we were working under some inaccurate information at the time. I have lots of thoughts about this. I went to get my hair done a couple weeks ago, and my stylist, thank you. Thank you. I did some lowlights too instead of highlights. But he shared with me the process that he had just recently undergone because he is in the city of Sanford, and so he had to get a Sanford business tax receipt, and he had to get a Seminole County tax receipt. And the day that he was coming in person to get the one here, we were doing the Little League, and so I think having been a secret shopper recently in this process, I'm lining and giving our residents a lot
of different ways, but at the end of
Businesses are complying with the fire. Businesses are complying with the fire, safety and the current laws that are, safety and the current laws that are that.
Ask what kind of businesses they have no data to refer to. Is that one of the ways we can get that?
Yeah.
State permits.
Uses the state information from SunBiz, and there's different, uses the state information from SunBiz, and there's different groups that he gets information from, and also from federal, if there's any federal type.
Just aren't paying for it.
Are defunct.
Are defunct.
Defunct is in the bucket of the
Yeah, and I was going to.
do pay on time, though.
Sure. But here's the problem.
Unless we are going to be really, really diligent and become exactly what we in this community have typically said we don't want to be.
That's a setup problem. So I don't know how that happens, where we implement a system that, quite honestly, we.
I want more information before I throw it in the trash bin. I'm not saying.
Behind on payments, and this has been a major issue that we want to now either, and I have no teeth in the things. All we can really do is keep sending letters and keep telling them they're behind on their business tax receipts. So really, it's like there's not a lot of teeth there.
It's a money grab. Let's just, Okay, there you go.
That's all, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, let's go to district reports. First one is going to be District 5, who also has an appointment to make. Commissioner Herr.
I do have an appointment to make. I'll start with that. It's item 31A, to appoint Zachary Miller as the District 5 representative to the SCOPA Board for the term of 1/1/26 to 12/31/29.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Seeing none, carries unanimous. Thank you.
And Veterans Day ceremony for the city of Sanford. I usually attend and do the proclamation, but I want to point out that this year, our new Veteran Services manager for lack of, but I don't know what his title is, new veteran services person, officer, did an outstanding job as the keynote speaker. He was tapped in at the last minute. He did a great job. Hats off to him for stepping in and doing that. It was really, really good.
So I just want to make sure that all your officers are aware of it, because it's going to have 2 phases. The first phase is going to be bringing a lot of equipment to do the actual upgrades, and then the second phase is the construction. There will be some major outages in the area. I've talked to our staff, and I know when there are outages, we can keep information on our website so people understand it. I just want to make sure all your officers are aware of it in case you get any phone calls, and that we keep the public as informed as possible. But there's going to be, through the next several months, inconveniences to the public, bringing the big equipment in, and then actual outages in the surrounding immediate area of those homes. So it's going to be, there'll be some notices from Duke out there, but I wanted to make sure if we get phone calls, or if your office gets any phone calls, that the information is provided to you. And it's going to take a series of months to do that. Next, I want to just give everyone an update that at MetroPlan Orlando, through MetroPlan and FDOT, there's been a series of workshops on e-bikes. Our staff has been involved in some of it. There's some preliminary information. I'll make sure that your offices have that. There has not been any determination what should be done or recommendations to the state, but they're trying to look at this holistically and different classifications. Are there a need for licenses? There's a lot of different things, because people are using e-bikes, and there's different speeds that they can drive and or ride, and people are actually getting hurt that are young children, as well as people that are on the sidewalks and trails having conflicts with e-bikes. So I'll make sure that as we get the information, that it's dispersed to the offices as well. And we got the first round of information from what DOT and MetroPlan has been looking at. Next thing that's going on at MetroPlan is they're actually doing some work on speed tables or speed bumps. Our staff's been very involved in that as well. And so as that becomes informed, available, I'll make sure that you're also available on that. Don't have the information, but once we get it, we'll pass it on. And last, I want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. I know that this is the time where we're going into the holiday season, take time for our families and our loved ones, and we won't have any additional meetings to Thanksgiving, so please travel safe if you are traveling, and if you are staying home with your family and your loved ones, please be safe and careful, because things do happen, and we want to make sure that we see everyone back here after the holidays. End of my report, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. On the e-bike, is MPO, I heard you say working with FDOT, but at the state level, they're already drafting language, so...
Well, they're working with the state, and the state's
Okay.
working with us, and we're just trying to provide additional information through DOT. DOT's actually doing it, and so they're actually working with all entities regarding that.
Great, thank you.
They had their first meeting, DOT had their first meeting in South Florida. That's when they brought this up, and then they had a meeting up here, and so they're shopping it around the state, and so I wanted to make sure that as we get the information, I actually have a handout. I didn't want to just email it to you all, but I'll make sure that your offices get it.
Weren't we working on something as well?
Yes, I think Kate, Ms. Latour just mentioned to me that we already have a draft ordinance that we're working on, waiting for the state to
Okay, great.
see
I know our
see
staff's
what's
been
going
working
through
on it
this
as well,
process.
because MetroPlan has been talking to our staff. There's a lot of interaction with this. This is not, each county and each city is going to have their own ordinance. It's going to be a statewide issue, and they're working on it. Don't know how long it'll take. I can tell you that there's been some dialogue in the state through the years about golf carts, and then they decided not to make any decision. Right. So that may be the decision to make. I don't know. But
All right.
as we get the information, I just wanted to be transparent, to make sure that all our offices have it.
Great. Commissioner Constantine.
Thank you. And the little I have today, first at the Regional Planning Council, we did have the meeting, last meeting at Neo City in Kissimmee. I do want to let you know that our own county manager had a lot to do with that, and it's quite impressive.
Sure.
I heard that Ron Piccolo is now down there.
Yes,
that
he
correct?
is.
Okay,
Yes, he was one of the ones that spoke.
good. It's a good choice.
Also, after that, being in the area, I went over to the Automated Vehicles Conference that was going down there. I could just see almost every city has something of lighting up, and I'm not going to go through the details, but the Christmas parades and the lighting of the festivals. But the Central Florida Zoo had our Asian Lantern Festival, grand opening, both first for elected officials to get more cooperation, since it is the Central Florida Zoo, trying to get other city presentation. And with that,
When does it run through? Do you know?
the end of January, I believe, or near the end of January. I don't have the exact dates with me, but near the end of January. And with that, I also wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. Look forward to seeing you in December.
Great. Commissioner Locke?
Trusted voices and offering not only the president himself as a resource for them, but to see which members of the community who are members of trades that they might be able to give the opportunity to work on
Very
the
nice.
building that is serving their community. I mean, it gave me the chills in the meeting. Decision about this relationship at some point. So, Mr. Gray, or to whoever you would like to pitch
Yeah,
it
actually,
to.
I'm going to pass it to Ms. Johnson. She's been working on it for us.
Yes, thank you. Tricia Johnson, Deputy County Manager. Just as a reminder for the record, this building, the community feels a great responsibility as this is their community building. So they would like more opportunity to utilize it and feel that it's too limited. Boys and Girls Clubs, of course, ability to assist with rentals. Right now, it's a security company who may or may not understand the depth of their responsibilities. So we're talking about, is there a member of the Parks and Rec team or a member of the community who can be responsible to be there on the weekends, and when the facility is, the folks that want to rent it, who do they go to? The county or Boys and Girls Club? So that's a problem we need to solve.
And the Boys and Girls Club currently occupying, those individuals are from that community or they're not from that community?
We have a list of individuals that has been provided to us by Boys and Girls Clubs that are part of their program, and some are from the community and some are not.
Okay, all right. So you'll get something back to us, or?
Yeah, we're working on that.
Just
Fair enough.
wanted to keep you all in the loop because it seems like it's a constant moving target, and I know we run into folks in the community who are either on the Seminole County Board or who are on the Central Florida Board. There's just been a lot of interaction, and I figured it would be a good idea for you to know the latest, greatest on that. Thank you, Tricia, for giving that.
And one thing, if you don't mind, Commissioner, I just wanted to say that we are working.
State CFO asking for some clarification on the comptroller, clerk of the court and comptroller's
Correct.
trust funds. My understanding is we have not received a response to that letter as of yet, or an acknowledgement of its receipt. Is
I
that
have
correct?
not. No.
I have not either.
Okay. It occurred to me that we did not copy our legislative delegation on that letter, and perhaps it would be a good idea for us to go ahead and forward that letter to them with a cover letter explaining to them that we are forwarding it to them absent a response from the CFO.
Makes sense.
And I don't, and this part I'm wavering on myself whether or not it's an appropriate request, but asking them, would this be an appropriate opportunity for JLAC to weigh in, a referral to the Joint Legislative Audit Committee? If this is something that the CFO feels is not something he wants to tackle, maybe our legislative delegation would be interested in taking this up with JLAC. That would be my recommendation.
Should we wait for a response first?
How long do you want to wait?
I understand that.
I'd put it all in one. We're giving them an option to
That's right.
consider. It's an option for consideration. At least
How long has
that's
it
what
been
I
since,
heard.
how long has it been since we put that letter out there?
Couple weeks at least.
2 weeks,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think the delegation should know the letter was
Well,
sent.
I definitely think the delegation should be sent. That's not my issue. My issue is the JLAC. I just want to make sure that we give them enough time to respond before we throw that out there.
Or ask-
Maybe we draft it to our legislative delegation with a letter to them that says, lacking any response from the CFO, please provide the appropriate mechanism for us to get the information other than the CFO.
You do that.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Maybe it's not JLAC, maybe there's some other method.
Yeah, I'm
that I
not
just
sure
don't
it's
know.
Makes sense.
JLAC, but maybe, but I don't know that it is. It might be an auditor general deal or something like that, I don't know.
Okay.
But,
Good point.
yeah,
So,
so we can get that done pretty quick, maybe even this afternoon.
Okay, understood.
We'll put the attachments with it too, which was the original letters from CFO, so they're copied with, they have all the background information. Be good. So I'm fine with that.
thank you.
Okay.
I have two more items. Given the, I think it's Senate Bill 180 discussion and our pause on the rural enclave movement, one of my constituents who lives in the Lazy Acres community reached out, and it was explained, they asked, where are we in the process, right? And so our staff responded that we have put that on hold because of the action from the state.
Right.
And the, one of the potential remedies that was offered was perhaps if a significant number, whether it's a vast majority or all, a unanimous request from the property owners that would be impacted, if they wanted to make an application themselves to the county, as opposed to the county moving forward with modifying the comp plan, would the Board of County Commissioners contemplate waiving their application fee? And I think that's something that this board would maybe consider, but certainly don't want our staff to be the ones who feel that they have to make that decision.
So question,
Yes.
we waive the application fee, they make the application, we say, yes, we're going to do it, we still file, they still say no? Or,
I can.
When it goes up for review, you mean?
yeah.
Yeah, so privately initiated comp plan amendments are not under the purview. So that's how you, I don't want to say get around.
So the
but-
answer is yes, I'd waive it.
Before we make that decision, is there any issues with waiving that fee from the state's perspective?
There's no legal issue to
I just-
waiving the fee. I mean,
When
it's,
everything's going on, it's always good to ask the question.
yeah, there's no legal issue with that. It would be
Okay.
at the discretion of the board.
Just wanted to make sure.
I think that, operationally, probably there needs to be some guidance on how you would want to do it.
Right.
We wouldn't want to have like 50 single applications come in. You'd want to have all the properties that are, and then there's some determination on what what comp plan designation we give them, because we were creating one, an overlay. So we could create, there's just different ways we can do it, but as far as the fee goes, that's something that you guys should really consider and direct staff.
Well, I think we've got to be careful also from standpoint, not fall into the contract zoning issue. Because what I'm hearing here is we want to tell the residents how to set it up and then we can move forward.
No, I mean, I think the residents would apply and say, we want, we saw the study was.
Understood, but I think what I just heard was we'd have to have some guidance on, instead of having 50 different applications.
Oh,
what
just the
guidance-
waiver, just how you would want the waiver to work. That's all I meant by
waiver of
that.
the
Like,
fee.
the waiver of the fee, yeah,
Okay.
sorry, I didn't make myself clear. That's the only thing I was saying, like, you want to waive a fee in clumps, or do you want to waive it for this whole geographic area that was included, in those different rural enclaves, like how you want them to work? Do you want it to do it not just for that one, but for the other ones that were also, because we've got a request from just one of the areas, so.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioner, since there's one or two people that's talking to you, could you not ask him to talk to our county attorney for some advice, and then they can move forward?
Sure.
Or they can go to, or they go to DRC?
So they are already in touch with our planning team
Okay.
and the planning manager, and that was where the suggestion came in from, the suggestion came from our planning staff.
Okay, wasn't aware of
If
that.
you all come in together and make the application, we could consider that. And then the request was made by the community member, well, if we do that and get everybody together, would you waive the fee for us? And so my initial reaction when I saw that was, yes, I would consider that as a commissioner. I think that that's something, I think that was, I was questioning more the fee issue than the process issue, because I think our staff has the process in their mind of how it would
Okay.
work.
Wasn't aware of that, okay.
And I probably didn't do an adequate job of explaining
So
that
my
on the front
question
end.
for legal is, let's say there are 24 property owners, and 2 or 3 say, no, I don't want any parts of this. Where does that stand?
I think you need willing property owners in order to avoid
All of them.
the effects of
100%.
SB 180, because otherwise it would be
Well, you wouldn't
imposing it.
include those property owners in the
wouldn't-
application.
Yeah, they wouldn't be forced to be part of the rural enclave, only the property owners that were voluntarily opting in.
So the problem with that is, if you create a donut hole,
It's every other house.
then it's, at some later point, who's going to make the decision? It'll be this board. What happens with those who weren't included?
Well, the approval it always would come to this board for approval.
Understood.
so-
No, which is going to be the arbitrary fight we've seen many times, which is, why are you letting them build 4 houses per acre when we're on 1 per acre?
I mean, there's a lot to be analyzed and evaluated.
I think I'd rather report back to us where all the landmines and traps are. Otherwise, I personally, when it comes to 180, I'm not against testing 180. Not against it for a second. I mean, sooner or later, somebody's got to make a decision. Us and other counties are sitting here all in limbo. Some are suing. We've asked for, let us work with you, help you redraft it, change it, whatever. I don't think there's much movement on it. That's just me.
So while all of that is probably good conversation for another day, that was really, just so you know, I was not intending to go to that deep of a level, but if our team, if there's consensus from the board to at least allow the staff to continue to work with the citizens who are contemplating bringing a unanimous request forward, would the board consider waiving the fee? And I think I'm hearing yes.
I have no problem with that.
I think the word in there that causes me pause is I don't know that I would require it to be unanimous. Because there's enough, Lazy Acres is a great place to test this. It's not that spread out, very close-knit community, long-term residents. There may be somebody they can't get a hold of. I'd still entertain it.
Yeah.
I think you may have some traction.
So, Mr. County Manager, could you ask your team to continue to work with those folks
Sure.
under that premise?
Yes, I can do that.
Okay. Is that okay? All right. I know it's a weird request, but thank you. Okay, and finally, my last one. So we have an open Citizen Advisory Committee member for the Sunrail, the Commuter Rail Commission, Citizen Advisory Committee of Sunrail. And while he has not put in his actual application yet, Commissioner Patrick Austin from the city of Sanford has told me that he would be willing to serve in that role. He rides Sunrail every day of the week to his job in downtown Orlando. And if he is listening to my voice, Patrick, I would love to put you on my district report next time if we could get your application in.
But if
If he's an elected official, is he allowed to serve?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
He is not a,
Not a decision-making from elected body?
there's no conflict, is what the county attorney's office, or
Okay.
the attorneys that are involved in the Commuter Rail Commission looked at it, and they opined that it would not, both DOT and our folks
Great.
looked at it.
Sure,
put them on there.
yeah.
All right.
Patrick should do a good job.
Can we do this subject to successful submission of the application?
That's
I
what
think
she's
that's what
saying.
she's saying.
Well, no, I think she said she
I was
would-
saying get it in, because I think the process that we have in place is you have to put in your application so that it's a part of the
Right.
agenda, so that it
Right.
can be included and whatever, but I'm bringing it to your attention so that we can just
the
like wrap it
next meeting.
up, unless you want to make a modification, and then I'm happy to entertain. I'm happy
Well,
to
and
do that.
my question is, can we move to approve it subject to successful submission of the application? So we're not hung up by the application with one meeting in December.
That's a good point. Can we do that?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Like sign? Carries unanimous.
Took away the hammer. You took away the hammer.
Yeah. All right, we'll see him at a parade or two, I'm sure. Okay, happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Thank you.
All right. Not a whole lot going on. The airport update, they're moving forward. Looks like they're getting some traction on the possibility of having, hopefully, extended leases beyond the 50-year period, which is part of the holdup on getting some of these bigger clients on the land side lease to move forward because of the amount of money they have to invest long-term for their corporation to have a footprint there. The airport will be sending over an invitation to all the electeds here on this body, as well as City of Sanford, to come for a orientation meeting to learn everything that's going on at the airport, including the land side and the air side, procedures for bringing new carriers in, and it'll be a time for anybody to answer any questions or ask any questions they may want to.
Awesome. Do they have a date yet?
It should be by the end of the year, but I haven't been given a date. No date's been given. You should be getting that conversation from Nicole.
Okay.
Should be reaching out to you
Okay.
to verify. So that'll be a good time for everybody to ask questions or particular questions you might have. Outside of that, not a whole lot going on. We covered the letter. We've had no response from the CFO. We covered that. You all covered some of the other things, so I don't have a whole lot else to cover. So I will move on to the election, public comment for items not on the agenda.
I have one thing, if
Sure.
you don't mind. I'm sorry, I forgot to bring it up. And under my report, we had such a good business tax receipt discussion. I just want to, and you all know this, all right, but just thank Jose Gomez. This is his last meeting with us. He will be departing us in 2 weeks and heading, can I say just south to Orlando, to Disney. He wants to be at the happiest place on earth. So, well, I just want to, Jose has done such a great job with development services and customer service focused, and especially with the development review and all that. So, bringing all that together. So I just wanted to publicly thank him. I know you all always commend him. So thank you, Jose, for all you do. And Mr. Mike Rhodes gets the short straw. So he is actually, Mike, no, I'm just joking. Mike has voluntarily stepped up, and he is going to be our interim director of development services as we recruit for the replacement. So I just wanted to let the board know that.
Great. On that matter, it is Mickey Mouse's birthday today.
Is it really?
As well as National Princess
Steamboat
Day.
Willie, 1928.
So we will move to public comment on items not on the agenda. We will ask the county attorney to read the rules of engagement. Ms. Latour?
Do I have rules of engagement for this, Mr. Chairman?
Well, you told me you did, but,
Do we have public comment?
yeah.
You have 3 minutes.
This one.
You have 3 minutes to speak on issues related to county business. If you are an official representative from an organization or group, you have 6 minutes to speak on items officially related to county business.
Thank you.
So succinct.
Any public speakers?
Yes, sir. One speaker, Adam Nelson.
Mr. Adam Nelson. And if you'll just give us your name and address for the record, please.
Good afternoon, Council. I'm Adam Nelson. I live at 3800 Lake Harney Circle in Geneva. I own multiple parcels in this county. I own 6 companies in this county, and I got an issue where I need to get straightened out today, or at least get some guidance to make sure it happens. We have the leadership of Jose, does a great job, but he's leaving, right? So I want to make sure that we clean this up as fast as possible before the end of the year. I bought a parcel in 22. It's called 595 Rest Haven Road, and we did the small site plan review to do the plat of the current property. And, excuse me, we have all the requirements and all the comments completed, except we get to the title opinion at the very end, and I've already counseled with legal on your staff and with 5 other attorneys outside of the county legal, and we're basically don't have the information that we're looking for to try to present a good title opinion. And where I have left off with it is the fact that we did get some samples from the legal department, from the county, but what we're getting here is the original purchase of the property. The title opinion came with it, but it's non-valid because it's 4 years old. So I think it has to be up to a current state of 6 months or something like that. And the feedback I'm getting for all the representation I've been trying to get is that they cannot validate any deficiencies that this property has because it's not platted. And I don't know how to get past that gridlock. I've asked Deborah in your office to apply some help. Jose's done about everything he could. And then talking with the legal department here, I understand they can't have communication. So it's time to put it out here on the record, and let's get down and let's get this thing done.
Mesa, are you familiar with this?
Yes.
Can you give us an overview of what?
Sure. So the title opinion that was provided wasn't in the acceptable format that we need. It has to go back a certain amount of time. It has to be done within a certain amount of time before you plat, because we have to make sure that we know all encumbrances on the record and that they're reflected in the plat. I've sent Mr. Nelson a couple examples of valid title opinions. I've corresponded with the previous attorney that he was using, and I'm not 100% sure what he was retained for, but I was corresponding with him and explaining what we need. And there seems to be, and I apologize, I don't know what the issue is and why Mr. Nelson has talked to so many attorneys and they haven't been able to provide an opinion. It's something that we get all the time, regularly.
Right.
It's not something that's, you know, that is hard typically for an applicant to get. So I'm not really sure what the issue is. What I can say is, I mean, I'm happy if Mr. Nelson would like to talk to one of the attorneys that he spoke with. I can talk to that attorney directly and explain to them what exactly we need. But both the county surveyor and I gave the same comments. We're on the same page, you know, and we've provided examples of what our requirements are.
So let me make sure I'm understanding this. This is not something that's being held up on our side. This is something a title search or title company or attorney doing title search should be able to provide on behalf of the applicant.
Right. We need just a title opinion for the property that goes back 30 years, that includes all encumbrances, shows who the owner is, the mortgage holder, any easements on the property. Yeah, that's our
thing.
standard requirement that we require for every property.
Same thing every
owner that
applicant
comes in.
brings in.
Yeah, absolutely. There's nothing special in this case that I know of. I'm not sure, I've still, Mr. Nelson, unable to determine why the attorneys have told you that because the property wasn't previously platted, that they can't do a title opinion, because we accept title opinions for raw land that isn't platted all the time. So I'm not sure where the disconnect is here. I wish I could.
Could I ask you to work with Mr. Nelson and his counsel to?
Sure, yeah. I mean,
find
I've been doing that up until this point. I've been providing them feedback and emails and examples, but I'm happy to
And you're not
continue
hearing back
to do
from
that.
those attorneys, or?
Well, the attorney that I was previously emailing with, he said he couldn't do it and he was passing it off to someone else. And then I guess that didn't work out and then
I've gotten some help from the county to try to look off the record.
So do you have counsel that can
Yes,
do what needs to be done?
I don't have the counsel to do what you guys need to be done.
That's what you're going to need to get.
But I haven't reached out to the 2 sample letters yet to get them firms to look at what I have to do, because I don't want to keep just opening doors and I'm not getting anywhere.
So, Mr. Nelson, this is not a novel idea. This is something that takes place anytime an applicant comes in. It's not novel for title searches to be presented so we can move forward. I can't speak to the attorneys or counsel that you've hired, but any attorney practicing in that expertise, it should not be a big deal.
As far as I know, it really is. That's why nobody's taking the job.
Although maybe there's some problem or issue there that somebody needs to explain to you about the property, which that's not, without a title search, we can't speak to that.
Oh, I agree. I mean, but they're saying that they cannot sign off on something that potentially could have deficiencies. You're wanting them to sign off on it, and they said that would not be valid, so they don't want to do it.
Of course, and which is the same thing. Our
And then
people are not going to sign off
We're stonewalled
on.
because we can't get to that. That's
Yeah,
why I'm
all you've got to do is get clean title.
I can't get it.
Well, then that's a problem. We can't handle something, correct me if I'm wrong, we can't process something you can't get clean title on, can we?
Well, all we need is an opinion of title. We're not asking the attorney to sign off on, or, allow any sort of encumbrances
Right.
to remain on the property, just
Correct.
to identify all of the encumbrances going back 30 years.
Right.
It's called an opinion of title. It's very again, like you said, it's very common.
I've gotten probably 2 dozen in my
an opinion of
lifetime.
title or a property information report, if there was a previous one done, it can be updated through a property information report. That's other terminology that's used too, but the property information report is also signed off, goes back 30 years, has everything that we need to see.
Well,
I'm sorry.
what I would ask is, and I think I've already heard, we have been working with this, Mr. Nelson.
Some of the
and his
communication
counsel.
breakdown is that when anyone has counsel, under the Florida bar rules, we can't speak to the client. We have to speak attorney to attorney.
Right.
So if he's represented, NASA has sent multiple correspondence saying, I will be happy to talk to your attorney. So it's.
So it sounds like we need to have your attorney get with our attorneys
attorney.
so we can get the information to your attorney so there's clarity on what's needed. What I think I'm hearing.
Yeah, I'm happy to provide that, sure.
But you've already done
I'm happy to
that?
talk to anybody.
You-
Yeah.
you-
Well,
you've
to
done
a
that?
previous attorney that he had that said, I don't think he was a real estate attorney.
Okay.
So I think he was handing it off to somebody else, and then I don't know if that person wasn't a real estate attorney or what. But also, these, like I said, a property information report can come from a title company and can update the previous title that was
Sure.
done. We just don't take
Right.
title insurance commitments. That's not a valid document.
Right.
So.
Okay. Fair enough?
So
Our
basically.
counsel can work with your counsel to help everybody understand what's actually needed.
That'd be great. I just want to make sure that you understand it. I've talked to people, and basically what we're asking for from the Seminole County cannot be done. That's what they're telling me. So I'm at a standstill.
We don't think you're at a standstill
No.
because more than likely, because we get these all of the time, when it's the telephone game, when there's a middleman speaking between 2 attorneys, the person that often doesn't win in that is the middleman because you're relaying legalese to 2 different lawyers. What needs to happen, not that we don't love lawyers, we love lawyers for the record, but what needs to happen is that your attorney, who what I'm hearing probably needs to be a real estate attorney, needs to speak to our attorney, and my guess is shortly thereafter, you'll probably get what you need. But an estate attorney can't do it, a general practice attorney probably can't do it. They're very specialized, and that seems like there may be a breakdown there. So what one attorney can't do, another attorney does all day long, like
Okay.
doctors.
I appreciate it. I just wanted to open the dialogue and put it on the floor for record.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you.
We're here to
Thank
help.
you. All right, do we have anyone else here to speak on county business? All right, we'll close public input on the non-agenda items, and we will move to reorganization of board. If you'll pass this down to the county attorney. Yeah, she needs it. Don't throw it.
When do I get to bang it, though? I mean. All right.
I think
Reorganization of the board. The board's policies and procedures require that the board elect a new chairman and vice chairman every year during this meeting. Just for the benefit of the public and for your refresher for all of you, I'm going to go over the process real quickly. I will open the floor to nominations. Nominations do not need a motion. They do not need a second. I will take them in the order they're received. When nominations have ceased, we will close the floor to nominations, and we will call a vote on the individuals nominated in the order they were nominated. At that time, once we have a majority vote electing a chairman, the new chairman or whoever's elected chairman will preside over the election of the vice chairman, and we'll go through the same process.
Mr. Chairman?
I am the presiding officer.
This is the presiding officer over here.
Now's when you bang the gavel. Bang
I
the
would
gavel,
like-
Kate.
Order.
There you go, Kate. Madam Chair.
I would like to open the floor to nominations, please.
Madam Chair, I'm sorry, I would like to move Commissioner Herr.
I'll second that.
And I'll agree with that.
Well, that was a done
Now you
deal.
can give the
no?
gavel to Commissioner Herr, the new chair.
You have to vote.
Can we call the question?
Who is running this meeting, you guys?
Hey.
Kate, you got to move fast.
I'm just asking a
All
call
right.
question.
I hear a nomination for Commissioner Herr, and I heard a second, and I heard a third. Are there any further nominations?
Motion to close nominations.
We'll do that. That's
We'll make
fine.
it complete.
All in favor of Commissioner Herr?
Aye.
Congratulations, Chairman Herr.
Or condolences.
And who was ever chairman at this time or chairperson, I'd just like to thank Commissioner Zimbauer for 2 years of a lot of hard work and effort.
Well, absolutely. Thank you, and I was prepared to thank each and every one of you for the support. And very important is thank the staff, leadership, as well as all the way down to the folks that are really doing the on-the-ground work. It's because of the work that you all do that we don't see every day, that make us shine, and I sincerely appreciate it very much. Thank you.
Well, my first duty was going to be to thank you, but Lee took that, so I appreciate your vote of support. I will take nominations for a vice chair and also let you know that I have one, which is Amy Lockhart.
Okay.
So we're nominating Amy Lockhart? Let's do it.
Any further nominations?
Nope.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
There you go. That was easy.
So I will set up an appointment with Darren and more than likely Tricia to make sure that we do a smooth transition. Jay, thank you for everything that you've done this
Absolutely.
year. It seems like when you are the chairman, all hell breaks loose, so
No
hopefully
kidding.
that's done.
I-
Bullets are out of the chamber.
I get all the heavy
And-
lifting.
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt. There's one more item of business on the agenda, and that is to
Yes.
reaffirm the board's code of conduct, which your policies require you do every year.
So
Well-
moved.
Yep. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I'll also point out that we have several renditions of this code of conduct that have been edited and never finalized, and I may just let that lie for another year, just based on how high Commissioner Delari's eyebrows went when I brought that up again. How about
I will
that?
say, I did get a call from a local reporter asking if this was on our agenda because something had happened.
Of course.
It was interesting, and I said, no, nothing has happened other than what you see happen in the way that we interact with each other at every board meeting, but that this is just a reaffirmation of our commitment to one another and to our community and to our staff of how we intend to conduct business. And they were, I think, pleasantly surprised to hear that, but also kind of sad that they didn't have a story.
Right, yeah. I think the latter was probably a
Yeah, I
bigger
think
one.
it's B. I think it's be, so County Attorney, have I accomplished everything that needs to be accomplished?
Let me double check for you.
Would you like the gavel back for
Yes,
a minute?
please.
'Cause you did
Oh, the
seem to-
next item of business is to adjourn.
Well, and before we do, my office will, anything you all need, Deborah or I will helpfully provide or give guidance on anything you need. Just reach out.
All right, motion to adjourn?
Awesome.
Let's do it.
All set then?
Good.
Adjourn.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Before you all leave, Chris wants to put